Well, Alan Kohler provides finance reports for ABC News and he presents Inside Business. He also has private online financial businesses, the Eureka Report and Business Spectator, which he has sold to News Limited. And Alan Kohler joins me now from Melbourne. So, Alan Kohler, how much has News Limited paid for your companies?
Oh, we're not announcing that, I'm sorry.
Why did you sell out to News, though?
Oh, well, because News, as you probably heard today from Kim Williams, I think has a very positive attitude towards the new media and what needs to happen, and its orientation is towards growth. It obviously has to restructure the print operations, but what it's trying to do is to grow its business, in particular online, and part of that growth is acquiring our business, Business Spectator and Eureka Report, and it wants us to be, in a sense, the vanguard or a part of the vanguard of that growth, and that's really exciting to us. I mean, we're looking to grow our business, and we wanted to grow it, and now we've got support from a global company that will help us do that.
Now, you are one of the pioneers of online business reporting. You've said in your statement today that News Corporation has the best understanding of the changes that are taking place in the media and the most coherent strategy for dealing with them. Why was it then that up until very recently you'd been negotiating to sell to Fairfax?
Well, we were negotiating to sell with Fairfax because we thought that they offered the best offer at the time, but it actually didn't get there. And so how can I put it, the difference between them has been quite remarkable. I mean, News Limited's approach to it has, I can only say, has been superior to Fairfax's. They have been fantastic to deal with. They're very positive, they're very growth oriented, and I'm afraid more so than Fairfax.
The Eureka Report was a subscription service, but Business Spectator was free online. Is that now going to move behind the News Limited paywall?
Look, there is a debate in online media around the world, has been going on for a while now, as to what's the best way to conduct online publishing. Should it be free, ad-funded only, or should we charge for access to it? I think that argument's more or less over now. I think that it's really that it has to be paywalls everywhere, and we are moving Business Spectator towards being partially behind a paywall anyway. That really isn't affected by News Limited's acquisition. I mean, obviously they've made their own decision to be behind a paywall. Fairfax is moving behind a paywall. I think most sites around the world of this sort are going to charge in some way for access to the content, and I think we would definitely have moved towards that anyway.
Now, you've signed a long-term contract with News Limited, as you say in your statement, but you've also tweeted that you're going to continue working for the ABC. How will you balance those interests and make sure that there's not a conflict of interest?
Oh, well, when I started with the ABC, I was working for Fairfax as an employee, and I worked for both the ABC and Fairfax. Then I worked for my own business, AIBM, as well as the ABC, and now it's ABC and News Limited. So look, it's nothing new, and there are other people who work for News Limited and the ABC, including Philip Adams and others. So look, I think it's not too hard. I'll be able to do that, no worries.
We've seen a lot of changes in the Australian media landscape in the space of 4 days. I wanted to ask you something about Fairfax, though. As a former editor there was a report this morning. Fairfax's third largest shareholder, the funds management group Alan Gray, had told AM that they believe that the SMH and The Age could actually possibly close down as newspapers, that they were already worth less than nothing. Now, acknowledging that you're in the News Limited stable, working for the ABC as well, what's your opinion there of the future of Fairfax?
Look, I'd broaden that to say that I think there'll be a time when there are no newspapers. I don't think the future of newspapers on paper is assured at all. They've been popping off the perch all over the place in America. The Times-Picayune in New Orleans, I think just this week, dropped the Monday to Friday editions to just go online. I just think, and Fairfax in its statement said that it's going to try to get its costs for printing newspapers or producing newspapers below its revenue now, but if the revenue keeps falling from newspapers, then it'll assess that in future and possibly close them down. So I mean, Fairfax itself is talking along those lines. So look, I mean, I don't think newspapers will last. I think that we'll be reading everything online sometime in the future. It's just a question of when.
We're watching it on ABC News 24. Alan Kohler, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.